And 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett. This is episode 92. And I'm joined once again by one Brian Maxwell.
Good evening.
I got an Aaron Kring.
Hello.
And I got a Luke Phillips.
Hello.
Oh, if you caught the false start there, I apologize. Forgot to mute the stream and I was getting like double sounds. It was a lot of fun. I'm a professional.
We could do a whole episode like that. Why not?
Yeah, just hearing everything back through the headset again, that'd be pretty good.
Why not?
It's pleasant.
Yeah, that makes for a coherent thing to listen to. Boy, it's September 8th, 2018, and it now feels like fall outside here in lovely Michigan.
Yes.
It very much didn't early in the week, did it, Brian?
Not that much.
No.
It went from 95 to 65 like overnight.
95. There was one point I was in my truck and I was driving home and it said 98.
Air conditioning died, and I figured, you know what? It's September. It's autumn. Like, it'll be fine.
Just tough it out for a couple days.
Yeah,
And then
fine.
And then the devil set his butthole like directly over your house and was just farting hell right into your mouth for several days.
Well, Tyler and Kring brought over an air conditioner unit and installed it. So you guys tell me, was it fine?
It was not fine.
It was not fine.
I remember very distinctly getting out of my car and being like, it's hot out here. But there was like kind of a breeze, and then we walked into your house. And it was like, I just looked on both of your faces, was like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, this is how we living right now. You and Kat were both just like, this is bad, right?
Just pouring sweat. Yep.
Yeah, I just instantly, my whole everything was sweat. It was bad. But yeah, we got you a little window unit to help stem the tide, hold you over until
How'd that little window unit work out?
It went from unbearable to uncomfortable in the house, so really well.
Yeah.
Definitely worth.
Might not seem like a big difference, but it is.
Yeah, no, it really was unbearable. I thought, man, if I had to sleep in here, I would just go sleep outside under the stars on the porch.
Yeah, it was rough because I need something on me when I sleep. It's really hard for me to sleep with no blanket or sheet on me, so the nights were a challenge.
Well, I'm glad the devil has subsided and it's a little bit more bearable out there. And yeah, you made it. You made it through.
Yep, I took the dog out tonight and it feels like autumn outside. It's awesome outside today.
Perfect. Yeah. Hopefully we get this kind of weather in 2 weeks. 3 weeks? 3 weeks.
The camping. I just realized that if we would have done it this weekend, it would have been. This was the weekend we did last year, wasn't it?
No.
Would have been last weekend.
No idea.
I thought we did the week
2 weeks from now.
Was it really? Okay. For some reason, I thought we did the week after Labor Day. I thought we did.
We did. No, it was. Hang on. Let me get my calendar up.
Oh well, while you're doing that,
It's an audio. No, it's good.
Yeah, we're fine. The listeners got time. Go ahead, look it up, Crane. Well,
Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you. It was the weekend.
If you know when we went camping last year, go ahead and enter in the chat.
Email the show.
It was the weekend of the 15th, so it would be next weekend.
Okay. So we're doing a little late.
Yeah.
Shout out to anyone who listens to the show every week. We won't have one in a couple weeks here. Because we're all going to be camping.
Spoiler alert.
I'll be winning Viking bowling. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
It's awesome.
It's great. You're basically just hucking wooden rods at bowling pins in the grass.
You huck wood at other wood and then knock it over.
It's the most Viking-ass thing. What do we got? Wood? Oh, what are we going to do? Throw it at the other wood? That's pretty good. You keep track. It's great. It's a good game to play if you've had a few adult beverages and are in the woods.
Or even if you haven't.
or even if you haven't. Hey, speaking of games, what all kind of games you guys been playing? Pretty much the same ones that you've been playing for the last month. If you're me, that's what you've been playing.
What have you been playing, Tyler? Is it just been Sea of Thieves and Monster Hunter and some WoW?
I didn't play any of the Monster Hunter this week. I got to high rank, and I didn't play any more after that.
What's high rank?
High rank is it's not end game per se. It's just like it feels like the training wheels have come off. Is kind of how it feels.
You unlock more armor that you can craft.
The monsters are harder to show up in more areas. They get new abilities. Like the Pukey that we fought, Luke. Remember how he was like he would like go eat a poison plant and then barf poison all over the ground? Well, now when he goes and does that, he can make like a whole cloud of it. He can make like a big old area just full of this poison gas. So stuff like that.
Also, Pukey leveled up.
He done leveled up.
Yeah.
You got to level up if you wanna be able to take on a Pukey. It's not gonna be no walk in the park anymore.
Because the first time was.
I mean, I'll go back and carve up a low rank Pukey with my eyes closed these days.
Yeah, we still fuck them up pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't play that this week. I did play some WoW. Crane mentioned WoW. I got into that a little bit. I hit, let's see, 118. I'm almost 119 now.
You're almost done.
Oh no!
You can almost start playing the game.
You're almost ready to start playing the game. So I'm at.
They do. I like the way that they do the leveling in WoW now. It's there's like 3 new zones in the expansion, and before it was like there was a starter zone, and then the next zone might be like, level 92 to 93.
Right,
and
progressively more difficult zones.
And then, eventually it all ends, and you're kind of funneling players through the same paths. Now you can go to any 3 of them at any time, do quests in any of those zones, and it just scales with you. So if you're level 112 and you go to Nazmir, which is the swamp area, it's all cool. That's not a high level zone. So, and the other players around are whatever level they are, and it all just kind of scales with each individual person. So it works pretty well. But see, I've been doing a little questing, and I just unlocked this new feature, which is the island expeditions. This is what I was talking about. That kind of feels like it's almost like a rift in Diablo, but a competitive one. You're like racing against another team of the opposing faction to try to basically kill as many monsters and collect as much of this Azerite stuff as you can, and be the first team to reach, I think it's 1500 or something. So it's almost like you're speed running and just trying to kill all these monsters and deal with all these environmental things as quick as you can. It's pretty fun. I kind of dig that.
I have a dumb question.
Yeah.
Are you a warrior?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also have a question.
Sure.
What's with the giant spikes on your shoulders?
Well, they're
real big.
That's
are you not familiar with Warcraft?
No.
Everything. That's literally a meme about Warcraft.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how gigantic the shoulder pads are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think of like Thrall's armor in Heroes, like a lot of the armor in Heroes, where it's got just big ornate bullshit all over it.
Them spikes are bigger than the axe blade.
Again, that's a WoW thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
And especially like orcs are kind of like the quintessential race for that. Like their shoulder armor's way bigger than any of the other races. It's just very pronounced. If you want the practical reason here, it's so when I shoulder charge into something, it just explodes their face out the other end.
It doesn't though.
It doesn't. In my mind, it does though. That's my headcanon for my characters. Every time I do that, whatever I just hit doesn't have a face anymore. Because of them spikes.
Do you sometimes get mad at the game though? Like when you've done that and then the face is still there?
No.
You have to like imagine it faceless?
I'm used to, my WoW being different than the WoW that's actually on the screen. I have to do a little bit of mental gymnastics to get there, but it's fine. Anyway, I'm killing a bunch of monkeys right now because they got the Azerite that I need. So, yeah.
Glad to see the game hasn't changed since I've been away.
Yep. Yep.
How's the drop rate?
Well, 100% actually in this area, so pretty good. Yeah, these little things are neat. So I played around with that mode a little bit today. I did some more quests. I did some PvP in the battlegrounds. Like, I don't know. It's pretty much the same WoW you know and love, but just there's some refinement there. There's more of it. There's a variance of things to do. The core gameplay is still there.
Drop rate and like drops that just reminded me of something horrible. I remember playing Diablo 2, and back then, seems like a long time ago, drops weren't like for you. It was just like a thing would drop on the ground, and anyone who was there would grab it.
So cool.
Yep.
And that was so fucked.
Yeah.
It was so fucked.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, even in WoW, up until a while, like it was, stuff would drop and then you'd roll for it, and it was like,
is that not still a thing? Does everyone just get their own drops now?
Yep.
Good.
It's this. Well, technically you can bypass that. I think there's like a way to switch back to the old version if your guild like agrees on it. But yeah, they have a new personal loot system now. So when you kill something, the game rolls for you specifically to see if you get an item or not. Instead of.
So, is there just more loot in the game?
Yeah. Yep. Like it's really just so instead of it being like, hey, this boss is going to drop 3 items, it might drop 15 if your raid is all super lucky. And they have like reroll mechanic stuff. You can get these tokens to reroll on certain drops and whatever. But yeah, it's
you can
not
still trade with people,
and you can still trade. Yep, that's the other thing too. So say like we go in and the Death Knight gets the sweet drop that I could use, and he's already got a better thing. He can still trade that to me if my class can use it or whatever. So yeah, they've made a lot of changes that, once again, just every time I think about like all the people clamoring for the classic servers, I'm just like, man, are you sure? Are you sure you want that game? Because it's rough.
Yeah, people say they do, but
it's rough.
Do you really?
There's not a lot of quality of life things going on there.
I think that was even one of the arguments from Blizzard. I can't remember who said it. It might have been Kaplan. But he's like, people think they want it, but they really don't. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like they admit that it was rough. Like it's not nearly as fun.
I think I bring this up every time that I think like as just as like an archival, good preservationist, agenda. I think it should exist, but
yeah.
Again, it's real cool to go in there and kick the dust off of it and see like, wow, look at how we used to do this. This thing was wild, right?
I want to live there.
Yeah, but I'll take the new stuff every day over that. So yeah, playing a little bit of that and getting close to the cap. There's some cool stuff, like meta stuff to work towards. There's new races that you can unlock. They're called allied races. I talked about it a little bit back when that feature came out in Legion, but yeah, there's one that's just different colored orcs. They're just brown orcs, brown or black orcs, and like I really, really want to unlock the brown and black orcs. They have like different abilities, different racial abilities and stuff, and like they can have face paint and shit.
Let's be honest. It's because black is easier to color coordinate with than green. That's really what it is, Tyler.
And they get like sweet white face paint, so you can look kind of like the orcs from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Daddy want.
So what do you have to do to unlock that?
Huh?
What do you have to do to unlock that?
You have to be level 120, and you have to get exalted with one of the factions, and then
faction rep.
Yeah, and then there's like a quest line for it. So yeah, there's some work to put in for it, but the faction that you unlock it with is also the one that has the thing that I want to do the most, which is the Warfronts, which look like basically a single player Warcraft 3 thing. It's hard to explain, but like it's this PvE like scenario that you go in with other players, but you're not control. It plays out like an RTS match. Like you're fighting against another faction and you're trying to build up structures, you're recruiting troops and stuff, but you're still playing your character running around in that environment. So that seems pretty cool to me. And
job's done.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, there's one of them right there. Oh, let me go back. This guy's already unlocked it.
Huh.
Yeah, well.
That is kind of cool. That's a cool mount.
He's sitting on a dragon and he's got like this cool face paint. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Distracted. But yeah, so the WoW. I'm also play a little bit of Heroes. Play a little bit of that Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Heroes has been pretty good lately. And also pretty bad.
I was gonna say, has it been good?
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Which is Heroes.
Yep.
We played it. We played a match earlier the week that we totally had control of, and then threw it because that's how Heroes goes.
It's the way that goes sometimes.
Yeah, I'm still really struggling to be okay with that. Like, there's some nights where I handle it better than others. I'm just like, whatever, man. We're just here to have a good time. And then there's other nights where like we get a couple of those in a row, and I'm just like, man, fuck this. And I don't want to be the killjoy that's like, oh, guys, I'm done. I'm going to go play by myself because I can't handle losing right now. But then also, if I stay, I'm kind of also still shitting in the pool. And I don't want to do that either. So, I don't know.
Yeah, like anything competitive,
Yep. It can be rough. But yeah, I'm digging some of the newer heroes. Like, Maiev is really cool. She's like a melee assassin, but she can do this umbral bind ability where she throws like this tether on people and can drag them back. And the highlight of playing her for me was like the enemy team has a Nazebo and he can put a little zombie wall up on the ground to crowd control people. And I managed to pull him and somebody else into his own wall. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. It's so good. I had him CC himself. Felt
Me
like
watching you play her well, because like when I played her, it was one of those I'm just like, oh no, I can't do this at all. I'm gonna get her to 5 and then lock her away in the cabinet. We're done.
Who's the other? Oh, Junkrat too. I remember the first time I played Junkrat.
He's real fun.
I was
Junkrat
just cackling. I was just laughing maniacally because it feels broken. Like in this game, being able to move people around is super powerful, and he
can put bouncy mines down and knock people around.
Like every 12 seconds, he can toss one of those things out, and if you hit it right and the people aren't looking for it, you can bounce people all the way over like behind your gates, so they just get eaten up by your towers and your forts and stuff. It's really fun. And he feels true to what he feels like in Overwatch. So again, like they're really nailing those Overwatch characters. I think Zarya is the only one that I feel like maybe kind of, I don't know, it isn't 100%.
She's another one I don't get.
Yeah. But I also just kind of don't get her. Yeah.
I never really liked the fact that Zarya was the pick that they brought in when it should have been Reinhardt.
Yeah.
It should always be Reinhardt. I don't know why Reinhardt's not in this game.
We still don't
would
have a
make so
proper
much sense in this game.
We still don't have a proper Overwatch tank, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diva's kind of like
Reinhardt. Yeah, she's kind of a hybrid, and so is Zarya.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one's like plant your feet and take all the damage tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke, would the addition of Reinhardt get you to play Heroes?
No, not at all.
No. Not even a little. And other than the heroes, a little bit of that Sea of Thieves, we got in there, cursed some crews up.
We had a real good night last night.
We've had two real good nights.
We had 2 real good nights.
Let me zoom ahead here a little bit. Yeah,
Last night was the first time we really put the cursed cannonballs to use in PvP.
Mm-hmm.
To great effect. Oh my god!
Yeah, it was the first time we had used them a little, hadn't we? This was the first time we really
planned it out.
Planned it out. We strategized with them.
Yeah, it felt to compare it to Heroes, it felt a lot like when we decide, okay, we're not fucking around anymore. I'm gonna play a tank that can do a route. I want somebody else to plant something they can. Right as soon as my taunt goes down on Varian, I want somebody else to stun, so we can just blow one person up. And
right.
That like when we play like that in Heroes, it feels super good. that's how that's kind of how we play Sea of Thieves all the time. And the cursed cannonballs kind of just give you a new way to do that. So like we went up into this new fight, or the one boat that sank us because we got a little cocky.
To be fair, we sank them first.
We sank them first. We came back, got cocky, got sunk, lost only supplies. We still didn't lose any loot. We got stepped up, went to a fort, got a bunch of cannonballs and supplies and cursed balls, and came back. And I think it's the quickest galleon sink I've ever seen. We roll up and hit them with the peace ball, which makes their cannons all go up and not be able to be used, so they can't fire back at us. We unload about 10 shots into them, and then hit them with a ballast ball, which is like a weight that makes the boat dip way down in the water. And because we had just filled their whole upper deck with holes, now they're taking on water from all of those holes that aren't repaired, and they just sunk like that. It was awesome.
Yeah,
and
these are the guys that previously were calling us names and F words and whatnot here and there, and just calling us trash and garbage, and we come back and just destroy them.
Yeah.
Feels good.
I'm not even sure if they got more than 1 or 2 shots on us. The beautiful part of that too was that we were fighting over a skull fort, and we get on the skull fort, finish up the wave, and then the captain shows up. We kill the captain, take all the loot. Right as we are leaving, we've collected the last of the loot. They show up, and they start trailing us. Tyler gets on deck eventually and proceeds to just murder the You're just the most disrespectful person in the entire world, Tyler. You go up there and you just make them look like fools. It's fantastic.
I got onto their ship and killed everyone on it at least 2 or 3 times. And dropped their anchor, made sure they couldn't catch up. But yeah, it was like those people with the biggest mouths. I just get like this extra sense of like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to ruin this person's day.
I'm gonna make you feel bad because you deserve to feel bad.
Yep. It's a real good feeling.
Yeah, you delayed them enough that we were able to get to an outpost, sell all of our stuff. Just as we were done, they show up, so we proceed to sink them yet again.
Is this video of you on their boat now killing them all?
Yeah. They eventually do get me because I just, at that point I was like, my job's done, so I'm just gonna get a little careless. But yeah, it's not without taking them down quite a few times. And then we went back and sunk them again after that, so it was it's really good.
It was. They really shouldn't. They really should not have said the things that they said.
Yeah.
Because that's what caused them to get sunk a bunch more.
But yeah, I think we're something like 20-1 for how many boats we've encountered versus how many times we've been sunk. So, yeah, it's good. Sea Thieves feels great still. There's a lot of people saying that Cursed Cannonballs ruined the game, and it's so unfair and unbalanced. And
well, if the tables were turned, that happened to us, we'd be saying the same thing.
But they don't get. Tyler, you had mentioned this is like when we try hard in Heroes and we play well, and you compared this to that. The thing about Sea of Thieves is that if you're planning and you're actually paying attention to what's going on in the game, that doesn't happen. A lot of times, like I'll say, okay, I'm going to go up behind them or I'm going to cut in front of them, and I do that to keep us away from their cannons, because if they want to shoot us with cursed cannonballs, they can't. Yeah. And then we hit them with our cursed cannonballs first. So there's a lot of just like in Heroes, there's a lot of jockeying around in the movement before the engage even starts, so that you can position yourself to get the best possible outcome. And if you're not doing any of that, I can see how you can say like, oh, that's OP and it breaks the game. Well, no, it just changes the game. You have to play differently than you used to. We can't just do what we used to, where we just used to run the boat into people,
shock and awe,
and then go and let that damage be all the damage, because now we're losing their broadsides, so we have to change the way we're playing.
Yeah, I've never felt like anytime that we've been sunk, it hasn't been our fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't felt like, there's just nothing we could do.
When we got sunk, that was bad positioning. We were too close, and we had dropped anchor, and then we couldn't get up on deck because they were hitting us with cannonballs. We couldn't get back up on deck to raise the anchor and move the boat. We were just stuck where we were. But if we had been a little further away, that wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
We would have been able to hit them back with our cannonballs.
So I don't know. I think that's, you know, again, that competitive thing where it's like your gut reaction when you get just undressed by someone is to be like, oh, well, effing game is, you know, unfair and this is broken and, you know, that's overpowered and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
whose fault is it?
Right. Yeah. Because it's certainly not mine because I'm good at this game. Yeah. That seems to be the kind of, you know.
One thing I've always enjoyed about this game is the moments before the fight, to where it's positioning, outmaneuvering them, outplaying them, and then the fight happens, which is usually pretty short compared to the actual like setup portion of it, and just seeing that execution play out. And
we do take a lot of time prep working before these fights. Like the majority of what we do is prep work for fights before we even ever get there.
It's getting supplies, it's getting stepped up, and it's positioning.
Yeah, the biggest thing is communication. Is like we talk everything out. We say exactly what the plan is, you know, who's going to do what once this all starts popping off. And
that sounds useful.
Yeah, yep. And every time I get done playing a really good session in Sea of Thieves, I go, we need to do exactly this when we play Heroes again.
But I was talking to Tyler about this earlier, thinking about it, and I think part of the problem with Heroes that we don't face in Sea of Thieves, we all have very well-defined roles that we very rarely stray from. We know exactly what each person is going to do. Like Tyler is the guy who's going to go on their boat and just start killing people. Luke is going to kind of do a hybrid role where he might go on their boat, he might stay on our boat and do cannonballs, he might help me patch holes. I'm going to be the guy controlling the ship and taking pot shots at them with my sniper rifle. So like we know exactly what we're going to do, and it makes it easier to then change the plan if we have to, because we already know our roles. Whereas in Heroes,
it's easy to call out instructions too, to where it's not like, well, who's on the steering wheel, who can turn the boat? It's Crane, turn the boat port side. We need to broadside them.
Right. And as opposed to Heroes, where this match I might be a tank, but the next match I might be doing damage, and the next match I might be a support, and we've got to change the communication changes.
There's something to that, but we also just like flat out don't talk.
It's true.
We're all guilty of that. Yeah.
Where it's not really an excuse anymore.
You're not wrong.
You know, we each have like maybe 2 or 3 different roles we tend to play.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also imagine that it's the 3 of you playing and then 2 randoms as well, right?
Yep. That factors in quite a bit as well.
That can be a source of frustration from time to time.
It doesn't matter if you 3 are playing flawlessly, if the other people aren't, then...
Well, and it's also they're not always, you know, they're not always following the pings. They're not always, you know, they're not hearing our voices.
Intent to, you know, I just see someone die up top lane by themselves. I'm just like, what the fuck were they trying to do?
Yeah,
well, they know what they were trying to do, but you know, I just see what happened and get pissed.
Yeah, and when you see it happen with me, I can at least be like, man, I almost had them, but you know, I accidentally clicked a minion or whatever, and you can be like, oh, okay, well, Tyler's a moron still, but at least I know he wasn't just like not paying attention at all. You know, I think a
lot of times we go up against crews that are completely random with no voice chat. They don't know each other. They don't have the defined roles. If they ever implemented like a server, like the matchmaking was like closed crews against closed crews,
I think
it'd be a lot different.
I think they do that a little bit already. They've said, I know they at least try to match platforms. So like they'll try to put PC players with PC players when they can.
Do they really?
They do.
It's not hard for us to dice people.
Yeah, but I think
I wonder how many people are playing on the PC using a controller though.
There's probably a fair amount of that too, and but honestly, like we definitely encounter more PC players than I think most people do because there's fewer of them, but it also the game tries to match those up. So, but yeah, I think the other things it tries to do is God, I was reading about it at one point. It was it's not the levels. The levels don't matter, but it's something like your microphone. That's it. If you actually have a microphone connected or not, is part of what it will try to match up. So it'll put you in sessions with other people that have voice comms. Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to be 100%
voice comms until after we get in.
Disable the mic in game and yeah, turn it on once we get in. No, I think I think it tries its best and does. I mean, you're only going to encounter just 5 other boats ever on a server, so take your handful pick of the available players, and you're only going to see so many in a session. But yeah. So anyway, Sea of Thieves is pretty good. Still, it's pretty good.
That was fun.
Oh, the only other thing I played just very briefly was the Mega Man 11 demo.
Oh, you did try that?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it on my Switch. I was thinking, like, man, Microsoft has this cool thing where if you want to download something, you can just do that from their website. I know Sony has it too. Like, if you buy something from the store online through your browser, it'll show up on your PS4 later. Steam has it too, obviously. And I was like, man, it'd be cool if Nintendo did. And so I just went to their website and Google or searched for Mega Man 11, and sure enough, it was like, hey, this game has a demo. And I went, cool, clicked it, and it said, it's in your download queue for your system. So when I got home from work, I had Mega Man 11 to try. So that was pretty cool.
Cool.
It's fucking hard.
Welcome to Mega Man.
Yeah,
it's
a Mega Man ass Mega Man game. This ain't no X. This is the original Mega Man, and it sure feels like it.
Boy, just watching what you're doing right now on that like conveyor belt thing, I don't want to play that at all.
This isn't me, but I didn't have footage of my own playthrough, but yeah, it's cool. The two new, like, I don't know, gimmick is the wrong word, but it's the closest thing I can use. The new gimmick is like you can do a bullet time type ability. I think they call it speed gear or something like that. The idea is like you're moving so fast that everything else is slow. So it slows everything down and does kind of like a bullet time. And the other one is like a power up thing. So whatever you're shooting is going to be powered up by, like, it'll do like double damage, basically, something like that. And you can flick those on, and it's got like a meter that recharges over time. There's a cooldown to it. But those kind of help with some of the really hard stuff, like making the really pinpoint shots or jumps and that sort of thing. You can slow down time to do it. Or if there's a really hard, enemy, you can just kind of blow through them. It's good, but the platforming is hard. It feels very much like the original Mega Man games that I knew and loved. I didn't get to the boss yet. I only played it for like maybe, I don't know, half an hour or so, but I died a whole lot and had to restart a whole bunch of times. And yeah, Mega Man in 2018 is still hard as fuck.
I like the art style on it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got kind of like a cell shaded, like, it's 2D/3D thing going on. It's good. It looks good. I do miss all of the X stuff, like especially the locomotion things, like the dash and the air dash and the wall jumps. I got so used to that in Hollow Knight, and it's so reminiscent of the Mega Man X games that going back and playing this, it's like, oh, I really wish I could do that shit. I keep trying to jump off the walls and I can't really pull that off, so because it doesn't exist. But Yeah, it's cool. I'm kind of excited for it. I think I'm gonna.
Are you gonna get it?
I think I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
Is there a price for it yet?
I imagine it'll be $60.
Probably $60.
Yeah,
60? You
think
so?
I don't know.
For those graphics?
Like 20.
I doubt it. I think.
Well, I guess we'll see.
I mean, I could see it coming out for like 40, maybe. But
can you do a 2D platformer like that for 60? Well, I guess Donkey Kong was 60.
Yep, sure was.
$30.
All right.
$30 is that what you said?
Wait, hang on. That might be after trade-in.
Oh. What are you trading in?
Wait, hang on.
Yeah, what are you trading in, Luke?
I don't know. Amazon's doing me a trade-in price for something. No, $30.
$30. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would rather. I think I would rather spend $30 on a brand new Mega Man game than $20 on a re-release of Mega Man X. I think it's where I'm at with.
What about $20 for Mega Man X and 2 and 3 and 4?
I could still play all those on my PC with an emulator if I really wanted to. Hypothetically,
you're right.
Allegedly, I could. Allegedly.
Yeah, because Tyler has those physical games in his magic drawer.
I got some of them somewhere, I'm sure.
Good enough for me.
Yeah. Thank you.
He assured me that he had some of them somewhere.
Yeah. At one point, I owned these and still do. Yeah. So there you go. What about you guys? You play anything else other than the stuff I've already mentioned?
I finally got to do a couple of new things.
Yeah. What you got, Brian?
I got to play one called Omen Sight.
Omen Sight.
Yep. It's
it's
an action RPG that has like a Groundhog Day thing going on.
Ooh.
Action RPG.
Like you're playing the
Got
same
you, babe.
thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I saw... I think Steam recommended this to me. Maybe.
That checks out.
And I looked at... I think I watched a gameplay trailer and I was like, this looks pretty cool. It's got a cool art style.
There's a conflict between neighboring territories. There's a murder, and then a big evil bad comes in and just kills everything at the end of the day.
Oh.
So you have to find out about the murder, about who committed the murder, and how to stop the big bad from coming back.
Oh, so it's like a time travel thing? You go back and
you do the same day over and over again.
Gotcha. Okay.
There are different characters that you meet, and you can follow them along their last day. And you're kind of piecing the story together as you go.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. The story seems to be pretty well written. It's not just a plain oh, these guys are good and those guys are evil. Go stop the evil guy. You don't really know. Just from what I've seen so far in the first few hours, it's not shaking out exactly the way it looks like it would. So I like that.
Yeah.
The combat ain't great though. It's pretty.
Looks kind of stiff.
Yeah,
is that the right word?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. All your hits make you sort of lunge to the nearest target.
Okay.
It's really easy to hit someone, and you've got to dodge a lot. When you see that exclamation mark over someone's head, you've got about a second to dodge. So you've got to be quick. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. The combat's fine. It's not great.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's very novel. I'm enjoying it so far. I like the setup a lot of being a mystery that you're solving.
Yeah, I like that too. It's reminiscent of Majora's Mask a little bit. Hey, the moon's gonna come and fuck everything in 3 days, so you
fix it.
You can restart it and live that over again. But eventually, got to figure this out.
Yep.
So
and it seems to do pretty well with letting you skip stuff you've already seen. I'm hey, I'm gonna go with this character again. It's you've already seen a bunch of this shit. Do you want to just skip to the part where you have to make a decision? Yes, I do. Thank you.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm digging it.
How'd you acquire this one?
It's in Rob's Steam.
Oh, okay.
We Are Family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Good stuff. You've been talking about a Donut County.
Yeah, I picked that up today and finished it.
Donut County.
It's a short one. The closest spiritual successor, I can think of is Katamari Damacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that real weird, I don't know, off-kilter indie thing going on. You're a hole.
You're a hole.
Swallow things up. You're just swallowing stuff up in the hole, and the hole gets bigger and lets you swallow up bigger things.
Checks out. That's what holes want to do. Holes be tripping, I'm sorry.
The story goes, there's a raccoon that is destroying the town with this app. He's got an app on his phone where he eats up things with a hole, and he's actually destroying the town.
Oh. All right. That's good. So wait, are you the raccoon? Or are you...
Are you the raccoon or the hole, or
are you a raccoon?
Both?
You're sort of
like controlling you?
You're like a passive observer for
Okay.
the most part. You control the hole because that's the game, but you're watching conversations between the raccoon and other characters.
Gotcha. Okay. Look at that. Yep. I played a game on my iPhone. I can't remember if we talked about this on the show or not. I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
It's called Hole.io, and the gameplay, the pitch of it is kind of the same as this part. You move a hole around the map with your finger and eat shit up and get bigger for everything that you eat. So on just that part alone, it's almost doing the same exact thing. There's no story to it or anything at all like that, though. It's just kind of hey, this little gameplay idea is the same idea.
Piggybacking on this, that's shitty.
Yeah. But it is really fun to eat shit with a hole.
It is. There's an encyclopedia in the game where all the entries are real funny.
Yeah, didn't you see this? I was hearing about this.
Katamari again.
It's all trash. It's all in the idea of the raccoon.
Yep.
Because the raccoon thinks that everything is trash.
Yeah, the raccoon's a fucking asshole. The raccoon's a real piece of shit. The game's got some stuff to say. I think there's a little bit of a statement being made.
Yeah.
Brian, is this on your Steam?
Take online actually have real world effects.
Gotcha.
It's on my PS4.
It's on PS4?
It's on PS4. Yep, I finished it today. Oldest also finished it. Yeah, the writing's real good. The music's great.
Is there some replayability to it? Can you go back and do the different maps, the whole thing for them, or is it just kind of start the game over? And
it's pretty linear.
Yeah,
it's not challenging. There's not a whole lot of tough gameplay to it. It's mostly the vibe and the writing and the music, kind of the whole package.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was short, but I'm real happy with it.
Well, if you want to get your fix for eating shit with a hole, check out Hole.io on iOS as well.
Or check out Donut County on iOS.
Is it on the iOS too?
Pretty sure.
No shit.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't want to direct people to a clone. If they can play the actual game.
It's not an actual clone, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's still a real fucking shitty. Hey, this thing's coming out. This guy's worked on for 5 years. Let's make a simple one that's going to release about the same time.
So the Donut County on iOS is not the same?
No. He's saying Hole.io is that.
When did Hole.io come out?
Before it, but I see that's the thing is I didn't know anything about Donut County until Brian said something about Donut County, and I just saw Hole.io on my phone one day when I was like, I really need something brainless to just do on my phone. And it was just there, but it never says I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's trying to eat this game's lunch at all. It just seems like a thing.
It?
Not
this
really.
happens a lot where there are I'm going to take your gameplay and add my art assets and then make my own game. This is happening with Slay the Spire, right now. There are a couple of just like straight up, it's the same game but with fantasy art. And
it's not the same game though so much. It's like, hey, you've got 2 minutes.
It's the same mechanics though. Like,
yeah, it's just like, but there's no story or anything. It's just, hey, it's 2 minutes to eat all the stuff on this map. Like, I have a feeling this. I mean, you're talking about this thing having like a thing to say, like a message. And,
it's not a 1-for-1, but
there ain't no message to
what I'm getting at.
To hold out IO, I guess. Yeah, I guess if it was like, hey, a BioShock Infinite's coming out, and then there's a game called Infinite Shock, and it looks a lot like it, and you can run around and grapple onto things and have abilities and stuff, but it doesn't have a story or anything. That would kind of be shitty, I guess.
Go into the store on your mobile phone and look for anything like Fortnite or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and you'll find a ton of asset flips.
Yeah, I don't know that like anyone was like, we gotta get to these Donut County guys. We gotta beat them to the punch. But
somebody
maybe. Anyway,
I'm confused as to why it's $13 on my PlayStation but $5 on my phone.
Because you can't charge $13 on a phone.
Yep.
I think that's literally the only reason. They tried to charge $10 for Mario and got crucified for it.
That's true.
Yeah, I think $5 is about the cap, even on a real good game. So
I don't know. I'm installing Hold.io on my phone right now.
God, Luke, you cheap bastard.
It's free. It's not good. I'm not saying it's a good game. I'm just saying if you want to watch stuff go in a hole.
Yeah, actually, Tyler, we almost done here because that's next on my agenda.
God damn.
Are we still doing phrasing?
Kring.
Tyler.
What about you, man?
Tyler. Allow me to introduce you to the best game. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Marvel's Spider-Man?
The Spider-Man.
I think it's called Marvel's Spider-Man.
Is it called? I think it's just called Spider-Man.
I think you are purposely misleading and misrepresenting the brand, and you better check yourself because it's called Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4.
Are we doing this?
Look it up. Yes.
Are we checking this out?
The game is called Marvel's Spider-Man.
Shut the front door. It is called Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's because that's because they beat the Spider-Man to market.
There's a game called Rope Swing on iOS, and you can swing through a city on a rope, but you're a stick figure, and it's pretty good. Just putting that out there too. If you want to get your swing fix.
Is there really?
There really is. I think it's called Rope. I know it's called Rope and Climb or something like that. Rope and Swing.
I think Brian is correct here. People are just terrible on phones. Nope, Brian's correct. I'm with Brian. I'm in Team Brian here.
Yeah.
It happens, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
It's not even any doubt about it.
God damn it, the swinging looks so good in this game.
Tyler, let me tell you something here about the swinging in that game.
I'm watching it.
As good as it looks,
it's
10 times better. It's so good in this game. What's cool about this is, this game, you can unlock different abilities. So it's kind of like a Spider-Man. The way the abilities are feels kind of similar to God of War.
Everything's got RPG systems.
Yeah, anymore. So you can choose from like 3 different groupings of abilities to unlock from. There's Defender, which I think is more combat stuff. There's Innovator, which is like your gadgets, things you can do with your gadgets. And then there's Web Slinger, which a lot of those are motion based. I've been dumping pretty much all of my skill points into the Web Slinger thing because I want to make it move around as good as possible. Yeah.
Being mobile feels good.
There's a way that you can. So there's like a little circle on the screen that shows up from time to time, like when you're near like a railing or like a post or something like that. It will show up at the top of it, and if you hit both the triggers, At the same time, you'll like shoot webs out of your hands and go flying over there and then like perch on that spot. So what I just unlocked was a new ability where if you hit the jump button as you're landing, then you like vault off of that spot and you get this like huge speed boost. So I've been using that to like now
just fling yourself all throughout the level.
Yeah, like you could be standing on top of a building, you finished beating up a bunch of bad guys, and then you're like, all right, time to go. And you fling yourself off of the building and just you're right into the swinging again, and it's perfect.
That's cool.
If I were those people, I'd be getting the fuck off the roof. There's a dude in a weird costume just doing twirls and backflips all over
shit.
for no reason. Just doing somersaults behind me. I'd be like, I think we need to go.
This guy's got something going on. We need to bail.
This is New York City. That's pretty typical, I think. People just expect weird shit.
There's always a Spiderman, doing flips and shit on the roof of your building.
Yeah, can you poop in the subway? Because it's not New York City if you can't poop in the subway.
What are the rats like?
You're not wrong.
Big, real big.
Yeah,
they whole slices of pizza. The rats.
Other turtles too. Yeah,
obviously.
So, how far would you say you are in the game?
In completion percentage, it says 22%.
Okay.
I have not done a whole lot of story stuff though, because there's a lot of like side quests and collectibles. Like, you go around. So this game, what I love about this game is there's no stupid, dumb origin story. Like it's not. It's picking up like.
You know who Spider-Man is. Everyone knows
who Spider-Man is. Yeah. He's been doing his thing the last 6 or 7 years or something like that. When this game picks up, and so like one of the collectibles you can go is you can find backpacks that he had. I think one of the movies, I can't remember which one, he like web shot his backpack and stuck it somewhere so he could come back and get it later or something.
He's always losing them backpacks. Yeah.
So he's got. Apparently, he did that 55 times in New York City because there's 55 backpacks to collect.
I think that is one of the lines from the movie. Like he's like tells Aunt May that he needs another backpack, and she's like, "That's like the 12th one this year or something like that." She makes some comment like that. That's kind of cool. I like that.
So, but inside the backpacks, there's like a little trinket that is. He always makes a comment about it. Like there's one where he got it was the last ticket that or the ticket to the last game that his Uncle Ben had taken him to, and so he does a little reminisce about the object that's in the backpack. And then you get this thing called a backpack token, which you use to upgrade abilities or unlock new suits or whatever, because you have different varieties of tokens. There's another one where you get you photograph famous landmarks, and then you'll get credit for those. So there's all sorts of different.
There's a bunch of bullshit to go do.
Yeah, there's a bunch of extra bullshit to go do, and doing the bullshit is fun. Especially doing the landmarks is fun because I'm getting to the point you can leave your camera, you can leave camera mode on, and just be swinging through the city. And then see the landmark that you have to take a picture of, and real quick, while you're free falling, pull up your camera basically and snap that photo, and then go right back into swinging. And it's pretty seamless, and it feels really good when you nail a shot like that.
Yeah.
Running up the building's real dumb, but it also looks real fun.
Yeah,
not being interrupted by smacking into the side of a building and falling.
What's great about that too is you run right up the side of the building, and then at the top you can hit the jump button, and he'll shoot a web and pull himself up, and then you vault yourself over the building. So it's not even you run up to the top and then you run and you're oh, okay, now I have to slowly transition back into getting into the movement. No, you just keep going. It doesn't matter what you do. They've managed to make a way to keep the motion going, keep your momentum going forward.
I remember that feeling good in the Assassin's Creed games, where it's just like, I don't know how I'm going to make this jump, but the game will figure it out. I'm just going to throw myself in that direction. It'll probably be okay.
Yeah, every once in a while, when you do like just slam into the ground, it feels really bad, but most of the time you're all right.
Yeah.
So this is a comic book game, right? It's not a movie game.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. There's no tie in any movie, and actually, it does a pretty good job of tying in like all of the Marvel universe really well. I went through and I was like, you find all sorts of little nuggets. Like the main villain for this is Wilson Fisk. At least it seems that way off the start. So like I was like, oh, Wilson Fisk. I didn't know Spider-Man had anything to do with Wilson Fisk. Like I only knew him from the Marvel Daredevil show. But I mean, it makes sense. They're the same city, that he would have a part to play in that. But then like you go around the city and even some of the landmarks that you're taking pictures of are from the Marvel universe. Like I took a picture of the Wakanda and embassy. Okay. And then there was another one for Avengers Tower and another one for the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Cool.
So you've got all these little buildings, like, and even still, like, I opened up a backpack, and in a backpack was a business card for Nelson and Murdoch. So you get all these little nuggets that kind of tie it all back together. Like they nailed the world really, really well, and they nailed the character as well.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, they like. It's surprisingly a very good Spider-Man story. Like they do stuff with the characters, not just even Peter Parker, but like all of the characters surrounding him are represented really well and have interesting things to do, and aren't just set pieces or like, hey, here's the bad guy, Spider-Man's got to stop him, or hey, there's a good person in trouble, Spider-Man's got to save him. It's like, you know, people they've got their own shit going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I hear it's just like a really cool representation of Peter Parker as a young adult, and you know he's a good, believable character. So that's exciting.
They made him funny too. Like there was this whole bit he did in the beginning. Like you've got these Osborn surveillance towers that like this has covered this whole city in a layer of surveillance, and then that really acts as like the map thing, like those towers that you would climb in Assassin's Creed, the same sort of thing.
Right.
You've got to go.
It's the radio towers.
Yeah, you've got to go turn these back on. But what was funny about that is the whole time he was doing that, he's talking to like this police detective, and he brought out this character that he was doing called Spider Cop, who was this. He was just doing this voice like he was this grizzled detective, but still Spider-Man as a detective who was getting sick of your shit, too old for this. And it was funny the way that they added all that into the game. Like it felt like Spider-Man actually should be, instead of just
I love the cat
out of the tree.
I like the fast travel things where Spider-Man's just on the subway, like flipping on his phone, or like, you know, just like leaning back in the chair, listening to music with somebody. Like that's cool.
It's really good.
Cream, do you want to go on vacation for like 3 weeks and lend me your PS4 again?
I don't even think I'd need to go for 3 weeks. I think shoot, you know what? I am going on a trip. I'm taking a long weekend. I'm going to Vegas here in November. So,
all right, pencil me in for your PS4 right around then. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're digging it. It seems like a really great game, and yeah, it's great.
It's definitely going to be in a year where I think there are a lot of games that I could put as my game of the year. This is going to compete for it, and I didn't think that it was going to. I thought it'd be good, but I didn't think it'd be this good.
That's cool. That's very cool. Well, I think it's going to round out what we've been playing. Let's get into a bit of the news. hey, it's the news, and it's the news is that Sony Japan is ending support for the PlayStation 2. What?
I didn't know they were still supporting it.
I don't think anyone did.
It seemed
they
like
were still supporting it until now.
That was the real jaw dropper there. Yeah. Yep. PlayStation 2 came out in the year 2000, you guys.
This actually kind of makes sense because I don't think that this thing launched in Brazil in like 2013.
What?
Yeah. South America, they get video game consoles like way later than the rest of us for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure this thing didn't launch in Brazil until like everybody's already on a PlayStation 4.
Wow, that's wild to me. All right.
Yeah. Not a big deal. Just, PS2 is probably my favorite console, so.
It's a nice little send off for it. Yeah. There you go. So long, pal.
Late 2009.
Yeah.
So 9 years later.
Wow.
9 years later. That was after it was already dead wasn't it dead in the US at that point, or did they keep it alive a little bit longer for some reason?
It's hard to call it dead. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Are you talking like new games coming out for it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, no more games coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. They supported that for a super, super long time.
3 years after the PS3 was released.
Wow. There you go. If you got a PS2, don't call Sony about it if it breaks.
They don't care.
Hey, speaking of Japan, Nintendo was supposed to do a Nintendo Direct a few days ago, but a big-ass earthquake done fucked that plan up.
I'm assuming it was going to be for their online stuff. I think that was supposed to be September.
Yeah, that was the original plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Magnitude 6.7 quake hit the northern island of Hokkaido, I believe. That's how you say it? I don't know.
Yeah, sounds right.
But yeah, and then Japan's having a real rough time. They just got smacked by a typhoon as well. It's it's bad news over there. I think a Nintendo Direct is the least of their concerns at the moment. So
yeah,
thoughts
that's probably secondary.
Yeah. Thoughts go out to Japan. If you're traveling to Japan right now, be safe, I guess.
Yeah, there was also a large Pokemon Go event today, and it was delayed in Japan because of it.
Yeah.
Or at least that region.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, you don't need people out in the streets when there was just an earthquake. They have more important stuff to take care of.
Right.
Yeah.
This story is cool to me because I've been waiting for more information on it. But this was kind of unexpected. Guy what plays Superman is going to be The Witcher. He's going to be Geralt of Rivia.
Oh, okay.
In the Witcher series.
This threw me. You said Superman is going to be... I thought it was saying Superman is going to be on The Witcher. I'm like, wait, what? How do those connect?
The weirdest crossover ever.
Geralt's going to take down the biggest monster of them all. Superman's going down. Yeah, he's got a kryptonite sword. Oh, okay, now I'm in. Actually, that's what I want. But no, there's going to be a Witcher Netflix series based on the books, air quotes.
I would imagine the book, yeah.
The thing is, the games are by far the most popular worldwide Witcher thing. I think
the books have quite a bit of popularity over there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and Poland, I think, is where they're based out of. So yeah, I'm sure they are. But I don't know. I'm hoping that it can kind of tie all that stuff up together because I think it being its own thing will be entertaining. So it seems like it's going to be live action, which is kind of surprising. I thought after the success of the Castlevania series that they did on Netflix that this might be another animated thing, but you don't cast
more of that coming next month.
Yeah, you don't cast Henry Cavill though to do a voice. He looks enough like a male lead that I imagine he will be.
He's too good an actor
action.
for just voice work. on the show. Like you're kind of wasting your money. You can get anybody to do a voice.
Question is, are they gonna have to CG his lips in again? Because he's doing another movie with a big old mustache or something.
They're gonna CG the mustache on this time instead of taking it out.
CG some stubble on him because he's gotta be.
They're gonna have to CG that goatee in because it's gotta be man.
Oh man, it's pretty good. Although, okay, so the Witcher's kind of a weird dude. Like all the Witchers have the cat eyes. So are we gonna get to see like Henry Cavill? Are they gonna go full cat eyes on him? He's gonna look like Max.
My cat eyes.
He's gonna be Nightman from Always Sunny with his silver swords. It's gonna be cool. I'm there for that. Like, I can't wait to see that.
That's what Tyler's there for, is the cat eyes.
I want to see Henry Cavill with long silver hair and cat eyes, please. Oh man. So I don't know when that comes out, but that's like, I mean, apparently it's very confirmed. So I guess we'll see.
I'm assuming it's going to be quite a while.
Yeah. But like I'm to the point now where I'm not waiting for anything. Like when stuff comes up, I'm just like, oh, cool. It's like a little surprise. I don't know. I remember
it'll be fun whenever it happens.
Yeah, when that happens, I'm sure I can divest some of my attention towards it. It'll be great. Remember when you were young and you just like would laser focus on one thing, and every day you'd wake up being like, gosh, is it time for Mega Man X3 yet? No? Okay, well, another shitty day here. Just wait, another day waiting for that. I'm just saying I got too much on my plate. Anyway, The Witcher. It'll be great when it's here. Hey, this news item is a bigger thing. Polygon, the website What Done Reviews Games, is doing away with review scores.
Yeah.
Those is going away.
They're still going to do reviews, but they're going to label things with Polygon recommends.
So it's just like a thumbs up, thumbs down thing?
Basically.
Like what Netflix did?
So the idea will be they'll still write the review. The review will be whatever, but at
Netflix did?
Oh, do they? Okay. Neat.
Yeah, you can't like rate a show anymore. It's just you like it or don't like it.
I didn't know that.
So this isn't even a don't like, right? It's like, hey, it'll either get a seal of approval or it won't, right?
Or not.
Yeah. Huh. I think that's smart.
I think that's they're probably like, oh, their writers are like, oh, thank God, now I don't have to deal with these emails from these stupid idiots on the internet who want to bitch about the fact that God of War got a 9.5 instead of a 10.
Right. Yep, you gave this game a 7.9, but you gave that game an 8.2. How could you say that game's better?
Yeah, I think
it's got its own problems because, just saying I recommend this, I can recommend two different games and feel very differently about them. Like, there's not really a easy silver bullet.
I wonder if they're going to do like just a straight recommends, or if it
sounds like.
I would think like what would be nice if they would do like a, hey, recommend if you enjoyed this, or this, and like list a few games that it's similar to. Well, if you enjoyed those.
I think the idea is that you'll read the review and hopefully can glean that information from what the reviewer writes. Like that's
always the idea.
That's what I find more valuable anyway. Is like I seek out certain review outlets or certain podcasts or certain YouTube channels or whatever where I feel like I have an idea of what that person is into. You guys too are a big source of games and stuff, so I know that if I get a recommendation from Brian where it's like, hey, maybe check this out, I know that means like, well, there's probably something here that I can appreciate, but it's like a cautious thing. If you're like, no, you need to play this game, I know that it's something that I'm probably, it's going to be a slam dunk. And there's certain reviewers that are like that for me too, like
like Giant Bomb is doing away with written reviews.
Mm-hmm. And there's somebody that I listen to pretty intently too. I can get a pretty good idea of that panel, like how games land for certain people, if it's going to be a thing that I like or not.
Right. Jeff Gerstmann hates this, but he doesn't like anything, so that's fine.
Right. Right. No, or Dan Reichert thinks this is the best thing that's ever happened, so maybe I'll check it out because, it's pretty hard to... I mean, his standards are low, though. He loves Mario Sunshine, so I don't know. Maybe that's not a great barometer.
Like I know for Spider-Man, Ben Pack wrote up 2 paragraphs, and then they're doing I don't know how long it is. It's an hour-long audio episode where they're just going to talk about it, and that's going to be their review. It's just an audio discussion, and that's got a lot. That's got a lot of value. I think you can be, I don't know, you can glean different things from a talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I listened to a read of Patrick Klepek's recent Spider-Man review. That's how I kind of found out about how the story's built and things like that. And that, I mean, to me...
They started doing that, too, having, someone write an article and then read it.
Read it on the podcast, yeah. Mm-hmm. I dig that. And then they talk about it afterwards. Absolutely. Yeah. To me, that is... I mean, it's obviously a much greater investment of time, and I have the luxury of a long commute where I can do that kind of stuff, or when I'm doing dishes, I can throw my headphones in and listen to a podcast or whatever.
And we can just roll right into our topic, because this is pretty much...
Yeah, we kind of are. Yeah, this is should I play the bumper? You guys want the bumper, right? Here it comes.
Yeah, we always want the bumper.
What's the topic? The formal topic this week is how do you consume reviews? How do you engage with video game reviews? So,
that's a thing that's changed a lot over the years. Because when I was a kid, it was just reviews in magazines, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. And it was always gameplay, music, graphics, and maybe controls or replayability. Yep.
Some of them did that. Who was it? Was it GamePro that did the stupid drawing with the head, where it was just the dude's super excited and his hat's shooting off his head. This is a 5.0.
Yeah, blew his socks right off. So he's got no socks now. Yeah. Gosh, game magazines are a whole nother thing. You ever flip through an old one?
Yep. I went through and I threw out a whole bunch of them, but I kept a few.
I had a copy of EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, that I bought from Blockbuster because it had. This is aging me pretty hardcore. I bought it from Blockbuster because it had Star Wars characters on the cover that I thought were cool, and it was advertising Star Wars Masters of Terra Kase, whatever. I can't remember what it was, but it was a Star Wars fighting game, and it was Luke Skywalker fighting Boba Fett on the cover. And I was like,
"Oh God,
that's fucking cool, right?" That magazine was horny as fuck, though. I remember flipping through it, and every few pages had very, very, very scantily clad women and advertisements that were very pointed at dudes with boners. And there was even a full cover story type thing on Lara Croft and having her in a bikini and stuff. It was really weird. And my 13-year-old self appreciated it a lot. But yeah,
what you appreciate?
Looking back on it is very awkward now. It's wow, this people would get crucified for publishing shit like this today.
Mm-hmm. I remember I was working at GameStop at the time when Game Informer seemed to be switching away from that because they had gotten they had the same sort of really weird ads with scantily clad women where I don't know what this has to do with video games, but.
Selling magazines is what it's
all of a sudden, then it wasn't a gradual thing. It was all of a sudden there was an issue where I noticed there weren't any of those ads in it anymore.
Yeah. But I guess the other thing too is the reviews in those that used to be how you got reviews was oh, my copy of GamePro came and look, they gave Super Smash Brothers a 5 out of 5 or whatever it was, and there wasn't a million people running to Twitter to tell the developers themselves how wrong they were for including this, and your game would have been a 10 out of 10 if you'd just done this. It's such a weird world now that
I can get any number of takes on any new game, immediately.
and you can give your responses right to the people who made it. They can hear it instantly. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think like written reviews are just increasingly a thing of the past. Like, people don't sit down on the internet and read articles nearly as much. We're very big on bite-size things now, and I think that's the way the scores have been used, and I'm guilty of that sometimes too, where I'm just like, yep, okay, you know, I just want what'd you think of it? 8 out of 10? Okay, cool. And maybe I'll skim a review, or maybe it's just like, I just want to get, just a real quick gut. Did you like it or not? Give me the number.
That has some value, but
all the nuance is in the actual review, though, because like for the new Dragon Quest game, I've seen mostly really good reviews, and I've seen a few so-so ones where they're like, this is just the same game. They haven't innovated on the series at all. This feels like it's the 1980s. And for me, I'm just like, great.
Right.
Knocking up a couple of points for me, because that's what I want. I don't want Final Fantasy. I want crusty-ass old Dragon Quest. So.
Yep. I think, I don't know. I think part of this is probably a big old fat fuck you to Metacritic and developers, like, putting so much weight on that.
You get people who get like bonuses based on that, and this needs to be at least this, this Metacritic average.
Yeah, so you guys will get a bonus on it if it's an 80 or above, but anything lower than that, and sorry.
I'm sure then too the developers don't. The developers are keen to pressure reviewers as well, based on those numbers,
or maybe
for their numbers,
butter people up a little bit more.
Really
roll out the red carpet for them to demo the game and stuff.
And by not having a number, get rid of all of that bullshit that goes along with all of that.
Not to give any credit to Gamergate at all, but I think there is a sentiment that you want this stuff to feel impartial. You don't want you wouldn't want to encourage that kind of thing. Yeah, like if we ever want to make the argument that games are art and deserve to be treated as such, then slapping a 7.8 on a game, and what does that really say about this collection of assets and music and things? And
is that really any different than movie reviews where you get 4.5 out of 5 stars? I mean, is that what we need to do to make games be considered art? Is just switch from a definite integer to stars?
I don't know. I mean, your maximum. I mean, if you talk about going to a movie and like paying for concessions and all that stuff, you're obviously in for a bit of money. But like with the movie tickets, like $8. So, and you're talking about an hour of your time or 2 hours or whatever, or 3 if it's a fucking terrible Hobbit movie. But
Tyler, that has taken up more of your time.
More than what?
That's taken up more than 3 hours of your time. You've thought about that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Probably
invested a lot of emotional stock in that, but
we had Martin Freeman as Bilbo.
It was right there,
flushed it
right there, and just let him fall down a golden shower of disappointment. Show title.
Golden shower.
The other thing I noticed with a lot of the numbered reviews is, like, if your numbering system is 1 through 10, like, I never see anything lower than a 6.
Yeah, it has to be literally broken.
It has to be catastrophically bad.
Right.
Well, and that gets into like, what does that mean? What does a 5 mean?
Right.
What does
Is
half mean?
the same as a 1 if you never use anything lower than a 6. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know those numbers mean different things to different people.
Yeah. It just feels like there's not. I don't know. I don't want to say that in 2018 there's no value in just like having a number on something, because some people, like you even mentioned, like sometimes you just want that. Sometimes I just want the quick hot take of like, is this thing, is it garbage? Is it a dumpster fire or not? Like, hey, this is the thing I'm interested in, and if it's got a 1 out of 10, then obviously I'm not going to buy it. But I don't know. I think everyone has their own internal thing, and
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm
podcasts for it. Like I'll watch a quick look just to see someone play it. Like that usually tells me more about a game than anything else. Is just watching someone playing it.
I've done that numerous times on Twitch.
Yeah.
Well, you've watched someone play it to completion and then be like, well, that was great. I don't need it.
I think I've only done that a few times.
Luke, how did you miss Prey?
Because I watched it on Twitch. But that's one of the few times.
Like, how does watching a game mean that you've played the game? Like, I can watch somebody play Spider-Man. The feeling of that movement is so much better than the actual, like, seeing it.
It's not so much that I've played it, but I've seen enough of the story that I don't need to play it.
Okay.
You ever see a trailer for a movie and you're like, wow, I guess I don't need to see the movie now because I'm pretty sure I got all of what I needed right out of that trailer. I think maybe it's a little bit like that.
Yeah, Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah, all the good bits were in the trailer.
But with Prey, you miss the experience of walking into an office and being scared of a coffee mug.
I wouldn't really say I missed it.
Dang.
No, but there's been a lot of times where I'll watch a game on there and be like, yeah, that's something I might be interested in getting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been several times where it's like, Brian needs to play this game.
Yep.
And then I tell you 3 or 4 times and you still don't play it.
Or then there's times where you watch a game.
This.
Death's Gambit?
Well, yeah, like it just came out and I'm poor, man. Like, give it to me.
Okay, but you bought Donut County. Township.
That looks more unique to me.
And Donut
Got
County
a lot of Metroidvanias.
It is not unique. Have you seen Ho.I.O.?
There it is. There it is.
We've come full circle on it. Oh man. Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, for me, write up an awesome review. I love good writing, so there's reviewers out there that are putting in real good work and writing some really great reviews for video games, and I'm all about that.
I think that's increasingly a lot of effort for less payoff.
Probably. I think it's a way tougher sell. Like, hey, read this article. Yeah. I actually, you know what's funny? This came up like a week or two ago. I was scrolling through a Polygon. I think it was a Polygon review of a game, and one of the top comments was, "I went to another site where they had a score to get this review," and I was dumbfounded by that, because like, one, you took the time to not only click the article to get to that page, scrolled past all the ads, clicked and seemingly logged in so that you could comment on it, and gave them everything that they're looking for just to say, I also went to another website. I guess, like, you really showed them, man. You got them. Good job.
Yeah.
I engaged with your website and clicked everything and consumed all of it. That'll teach you. I don't know. I think there's always going to be. This is where I get like a little libertarian on it. If the market wants that, if there's people out there that are like, no, we want numbers on our reviews, like, it'll happen. It's not hard to do. It's a lot easier and quicker, and you know, you can crank those out pretty quick. But major publications deciding, hey, we're gonna get out of that game and just try to like recommend things and write a coherent review that sums it all up. Yeah. Well, I'm full support of that. Full support from me.
Yeah, like, it's just frustrating to have the job boiled down to like, I don't want to read all this. Just give me the number.
Yeah. Yeah, and those people will go away and they'll look other places for that. Like, here's the world's tiniest violin for you, I guess. Like, you know what I mean?
Hit you in the ass on the way out.
Right. So, anyway, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week here, folks. Hey, you can find the whole show, all the shows, right over at questlogcast.com. You can get it on YouTube, you can get it on SoundCloud, you can get it on all your devices. Hey, this week, if you're listening on iOS, if you want to toss us a little review of your own there, slap a number of stars on that.
Number.
Write it down. Maybe write out what's your favorite part. That would be super helpful for us. Or, you could send us an email and let us know yourself how you think the show is. Or you can do that right over at mail@questlogcast.com. Email us the number. Nothing else. Subject line only. I don't got time for your bullshit. Just out of 5. You can do out of 5.
Yep. Put it right in the subject line. Otherwise, I'm just deleting it.
Yeah. Everything else right in the trash. Right in the trash. Thank you to Visitor for the awesome music that you hear on this podcast. It is from Songs from an Unmade World 2, and you can find more of Visitor stuff at visitor.us. And as always, follow us on Twitter at QuestLogCast. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We will be back next week for episode 93. And until then, stay safe.
Take care.
Bye. Good night.